Hi, my name is Colin O'Neill, and I am the founder of the 2020 Design Power Users Group on Facebook and also Design Pugs LLC, where we help designers be more efficient. So today I'd like to talk about investing in yourself, both tools and education. One of the founding fathers who never became president was very smart and was very instrumental in founding this country. Nope, not this guy, although he never did throw away his shot, and then it did him in at the end. But anyway, so I'm talking about this guy, Benjamin Franklin, and he has some wonderful quotes. And one of my favorites is the best investment is in the tools of one's own trade. And their truer words were never spoken. And tools that we would consider for our trade of kitchen and bath design are software and hardware, and those comprise many different things. 2020 Design Live is the premier design software for kitchen and bath dealers, whether you are a small one-room studio up to a large multi-location home center and everything in between. If you sell manufactured cabinets and that manufacturer has either a cloud-based or a local-based catalog where you can have all of the correct door styles and colors and especially pricing, then this is really one of the best tools because it allows you to take your project from concept to rendering and pricing faster so you can be more profitable in less time. It's really essential if you are in a fast-paced showroom and you have 10, 15 folders on your desk at a time to be able to do these quickly, but also efficiently and be able to have the output that's necessary. And there's a quote by some guy there, by the way. And then the next one is SketchUp Pro. So SketchUp is a 3D modeling program that can be used to create 3D objects in a 2D environment. So 2D environments such as 2020 Design Live, for example, working a screen, it's two-dimensional. There are limitless options to create objects for interior kitchen and bath design, and the 3D Warehouse is a free resource for pre-made objects. Folks in the SketchUp community, such as lights and furniture. 2020 Design Live has a 3D Warehouse browser, in fact, that allows you to bring these items in quickly and easily. But many times the item is too large or the dimensions aren't quite right. If it's a light, for example, a pendant, and it has a rod or a chain, you can't change those once you bring it into 2020. Or if there's multiples, like if there's a file that has three different chairs in it, you can't delete one of those chairs in 2020. That's when having SketchUp Pro is essential, because you can download that item, open SketchUp Pro, manipulate it as necessary, and then save it and then bring it into your program like 2020 Design Live. So it just makes it easier to use items that you might not be able to otherwise use. And a third major one is Magic Plan. Magic Plan is a program that instantly creates and shares floor plans. Now that's important for efficiency again, because we go out to a project site, we need to get measurements of the space, and we have our measuring tools, but what is nice is to be able to get the whole room in one go, and that's what Magic Plan does. With the right hardware, it will allow you to measure a space quickly and easily and accurately. It'll get all the doors, windows, that sort of thing. And what's best about it is it will export it in a format that's compatible with either 2020 Design Live or SketchUp or whatever you happen to be using. So it's a great tool in that sense. So other things, other tools in our tool belt are productivity software, Microsoft Office. Of course, I'm making this presentation on PowerPoint, and then Word and Excel I know I use quite a bit, and folks do as well. Photoshop, which will allow you to take output like renderings or job site photos or after photos even, and manipulate them to make them more attractive. Um, we have Acrobat. The full version of Adobe Acrobat allows you to combine multiple PDFs. So your design software will allow you to print to a PDF, but you might not be able to put them all into one at a time. This allows you to put them into one PDF and send it by email instead of sending multiples. Just put it all in one file. And then Canva is a great product. It does much of what PowerPoint does, and it also does allows you to do graphic design, allows you to do Facebook posts and Instagram posts and small videos like Instagram Reels, that sort of thing. And the Pro version just gives you so many more tools. It will remove the background of a photo for you, for example. And Dropbox is essential in my business because it allows me to store all of my files in one cloud location and then have it synced silently in the background to all of my devices. My phone, my laptop, my desktop. I can access any file from anywhere by using Dropbox. So that's a great productivity tool. So, here we have a gaming setup, and, a lot of people say, well, but I have a gaming computer. The hardware is very important for most of the software, especially 2020 Design Live and SketchUp. But then I say, how old is it? And then I also ask, what are the specifications? Because sometimes there are gaming systems that are fine for running the games, but it won't necessarily run our software most efficiently. So what we need to determine is whether you have a desktop, which gives you better overall performance and is more upgradable, or a laptop, which gives you portability, and you can do things like add external monitors, you can add external storage, external hard drives, that sort of thing. And it's great if you need to go to job sites, that sort of thing. But, you get better performance and upgradability because of cooling, and also you can run faster processors in a larger computer. And then you sacrifice performance and upgradability for portability with a laptop. But what you need to look for, very important, if you're speccing a new computer, you want the latest generation Intel Core i7 or Core i9 processor. And they're currently selling the 12th generation and 13th generation are shipping, but only from custom built sources. You want to avoid processors by AMD. Which is the main competitor to Intel. They have names like Ryzen, and the Ryzen processor is great for gaming. Doesn't work great in many cases. There's some compatibility issues with some of the design software, so you want to look out for that. System RAM, which is where your computer is running what you're looking at, is in the RAM, random access memory, and that's at least 16 gigabytes, but preferably 32, because you are running larger programs, and sometimes you're running multiple ones at once. I don't recommend that much of the time, but sometimes they are running at once and you need to have space for them to be running. Your hard disk, which is your storage, like a file cabinet, you want at least 1 terabyte of storage capacity, but preferably 2. And that's for larger files. The more complex software gets, the larger the files that it generates. And you always want an SSD, which is a solid state disk. That is chips as opposed to spinning platters, which is the old way of doing it, and it's a much faster and more efficient way of storing and retrieving files. You want an NVIDIA brand separate graphics card. Cheaper systems share the video with the processor. Definitely need to avoid that, especially with 2020 Design Live, because it requires a separate or a discrete processor. An RTX 20 series or RTX 30 series are preferable. They do have a GTX series, which is their bargain series, but it's better to stretch your budget and get the RTX. Gaming systems are a good start, but you still need to look for these specifications. And you don't have to have the blinky lights. Now, if you're in a professional showroom and you don't want to see those whirring fans with different lighting colors and flashing lights, you don't need to do that. You can turn it off. It will look like a plain black sleek case. So brands, look for Dell Alienware, which is by Dell. They're a little funky looking. but the performance is there. Velocity Micro is a line that I've recommended that they're built in the United States, so you have quality control and assembly here. It just makes for a better system, but it also makes for a more expensive system. So you have to really, have the budget to use Velocity, but it's a great system. Other things to consider for hardware are dual 4K monitors. You want to make sure that you have the latest technology, can keep up with the video card that you have. A wide format printer. Installers and contractors really enjoy having a larger format. It's easier to read. Your dimensions, your labels on your cabinets are much easier to read if you can print it on a larger printer. An iPad Pro works great, especially for Magic Plan, because it has what's called a LiDAR scanner, and it makes it more accurate when you're measuring a room with Magic Plan. But if you don't have an iPad Pro, you can just use your iPhone Pro, whether it be a 12 through 14 Pro. It has that same LiDAR scanner in it. This is a smaller screen, which is harder to input, harder to see, especially for older eyes like mine, to see the display. And then you have the Bosch or other brand. Bosch is the one that's used mostly. The laser measure. Laser measure is great for doing overall room dimensions, ceiling heights, especially if you're doing a peaked ceiling. It's difficult to get a tape that high. It just makes it easier to get the larger spaces, and you can get smaller ones too. From a window casing to a corner, for example, is easy to get, and then just use your tape to do the casing to casing. But it just makes life a little bit easier. So other technology that you can use to make your life easier. So the next investment in yourself is in education. And our friend Ben Franklin again has also said that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. And that couldn't be more true. So in investing yourself in knowledge, of course, the NKBA, we're all here. NKBA is our host here at KBIS, and they have free webinars, and they have a lot of them, and they're very good quality. So even if you're not going for certification or have a certification, these webinars are very useful. But they do have their certification programs, which is completely education based. You learn everything that you need to know outside of just measurements and dimensions and cabinetry. You learn about plumbing and all the other things that you need to know. So they're great programs. Other associations like NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, or the National Association of Home Builders, they have training and certifications also. The most popular are the CLIP and CAPS, which are your aging in place certifications. That's great if you deal with or want to deal with the aging population. So if you're in the Carolinas through Florida or that sort of thing, that can be very useful for you. Software companies have their own training, 2020spaces.com, which is, they have the full day training. They also have some online based training. And then SketchUp.com has online training as well. Colleges, universities, of course, interior drafting and architectural design certificates and degrees, and your YouTube channels. That's a great resource. 2020 has their own, and you can go there and watch lots of videos. If you've been around with this product for a while, you know that the John Morgan videos are there, and those are very popular. SketchUp has their own channel, as does Magic Plan. And there's a good SketchUp one that I like to mention called The SketchUp Essentials, which gives you some great just-in-time learning on SketchUp. And then Design Pugs, we have our own YouTube channel that has some tips and tricks on there as well. So that's it for this presentation. I thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.